Hey everyone, it is Fitz with your daily delivery. Hope you're doing well. I'm good. It's a weekend, and it's a huge weekend for Kansas State men's basketball as they hit their Utah swing. And after all they've done over the last 3 weeks to get themselves back in the discussion of the NCAA tournament, they're not there yet. And as they have 7 games to go in this regular season, starting with this game at BYU tonight, Saturday night, and then Monday at Utah, it's huge. And I'm going to explain why it's huge right after I remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do so. It just helps us out. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just feeds your algorithm, and it's all about the algorithm. That's the life I live. Some mean streets out here in YouTube country. Kansas State stunk earlier in the year. Duh. We all know that. And people got mad. And I was frustrated. But some people went too far to call Jerome Tang a fraud, a call for its firing. It was the kind of overreaction that we do as fans when we just kind of let our emotions rule logic. Look, the reason fans were upset is because of what we're seeing right now. This isn't a fluke. This is what could have been much earlier. That's why they were so upset. This was in this team all the time, and it just took a while for them to decide, hey, we're going to be good, and the coaching staff to figure out the right buttons to push with a group of guys they brought together to be a team. That doesn't always work, and it didn't work last year, but it did work 2 years ago. And now I feel like we're in the in-between. We're seeing how bad it can be and how good it can be. But I don't blame fans for being upset earlier. I do find some disappointment in how hostile the reactions were. Nobody's scamming anyone. Nobody's not trying to win. They've been trying. But for me, everything they've accomplished in the 6-game winning streak simply gets the teeter-totter back to even. They haven't proven they belong in the tournament. They've proven they could be in the tournament. We're starting to see them show up on bracketology lists, maybe as the first 4 out, the next 4 out, or the 4 that should be in the neighborhood, but nobody wants them there right now. It doesn't matter what they call it. K-State is not in the tournament. And during this 7-game final stretch before they go to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, we think at GoPowercat, they have to go 5-2. So to come out of this weekend needing to go 3-2 would be enormous. And I truly believe this, if they win both of these road games, and let me tell you, winning at BYU in front of that large crowd is going to be difficult. It's a tough place to play. It's going to be a little bit later at night and in a mountain environment. There's a lot going against K-State. And this BYU team, by the way, has some really incredible players. But they too are kind of on the bubble. So this game is a sorting out game and very important. And I would suspect that K-State will be the better team in these 2 games, but that doesn't always mean they win. And we've seen that played out this season. So let's stay the course. Let's see what happens. And even if they don't win these games, they still have a very viable shot to get in the tournament. These are difficult, challenging road games. But if you're going to be an NCAA tournament team, you win more of these, just like you did at Iowa State, emphatically, and honestly hanging on for dear life at Arizona State. Doesn't matter how it happened, you were on the right side of it. And K-State fans simply expected to be on the right side a lot more than the wrong side. And with a team now that's 13-11, well, the right side hasn't exceeded the wrong side very much. So winning 2 in Utah will put this team in really solid footing. They'd have to screw it up at that point not to get in the field. And I don't think they would. That's why I think these 2 games are the prove it or lose it games for this program. Everything they've done, the beating of Iowa State, of Kansas and Arizona, simply evened things out. Now is the proving ground, and it starts in Utah.